Now, in the past, we went over how to do a draw start. Some people call it a blow start, but I've been calling it a draw start because I feel it's more accurate. We're drawing air in to keep the harp going. But in the past, that's all the farther I was able to go with the video. I would draw in, and then I wouldn't be out of air, but my lungs would be full of air, so I couldn't breathe in anymore. Well, let's just go, we're going to expand upon that, on how to keep that going, on how to maintain it. But let's just review what the concept of drawing in is. Now, the way I do this is you need a harp where the reed is offset forward. This is a South Indian Morsing. It's a Tamil Nadu. You can also do it with some of the Gorkha. This is a Gorkha Afghan. A lot of harps you're not going to be able to do this with because the harp reed sits dead center with the decks. If it sits dead center, then you can't draw it back in. And harps are made like this in general for a good purpose. You get a lot clearer of a tone when the reed is properly aligned with the decks, but you can't draw start it. So harps like Morsing and some of the Morchang are made with the reed sitting forward. You sacrifice a little bit of tonal quality, but you get an added dimension of being able to draw. Now on harps where it's properly aligned, you can put your thumb on the back and manually offset it forward, but I find it's best if you use a harp that's made for draw starting because you don't have your thumb pressing and dampening the sound. Now, in the past, we've learned how to draw start. You kind of, on a harp that's draw startable, you kind of got to feel around and you're sipping on it. Sometimes you have to move the harp a little bit back and forth to find where properly to sip it and to find how a draw start occurs. Pluck the harp and breathe in until you feel it maintaining. That's about the speed. That's about the feel, the sipping feel that you should feel when you're doing your draw start. Now you can do this without the harp reed moving at all. But once you draw in and your lungs are full of air, you can't go any further. Well, I was hanging out with Neptune Chipotin at the North American Jaw Harp Festival, and he let me know that when he does it, he'll sip inward as efficiently as he can, and then he'll flare his lips out and lightly press air out so he can keep it going. He can actually play the harp without even touching it, which is really cool. Me, I'm just now coming into this technique, just now getting the grasp of it, but while I'm passionate about it, I want to share it with you and share what I'm learning about it. So get yourself a harp that's good for draw starting, and we'll sip in, bring your lips out, and let the air out around the harp because we don't want to blow back through the harp because that'll stop it. So we're going to let the air out around. And it's kind of a feeling that you have to get. And I'm getting a little bit better at it. And I'm going to get better at it in the future, but we'll draw air in and then and it's that feeling. You get it rolling, and the more you do it, keep practicing that. Make sure you're sitting down because it does make me a little bit lightheaded because I'm hyperventilating. I'm breathing like I'm not used to breathing. So breathe in, bring the lips out. Air goes around the harp, out, in, out, in, out, in, out. And you can start working this into your songs. If you're playing a central rhythm or a rhythm that you're into, I was playing for a while, then I'm sipping and drawing and letting loose, drawing and letting loose, drawing and letting loose, and letting the air go back around. And it really begins to add another dimension to your play. And we're going to expand upon this just a little bit further and expand out of the draw into sipping and releasing. Here's the Morsing. I was just on the Gorkha Afghan, which I really, really enjoy. It doesn't have a pure tone. It has a very aggressive, very draw startable. I don't know. It's hard to explain. I'm using that draw to build myself almost a false type of sustain, and that sipping, releasing, sipping, releasing, sipping, releasing, and also just when I need to get a breath back in, I'll sip and I'll draw that sustain out and control the harmonics that are coming off it. And as I'm drawing, I'm changing my tongue position. So I'm changing the tone. At first, don't worry about moving your tongue during your draws, but after you get more and more comfortable with it, bring your tongue up, bring your tongue down. Here I'm going to do my draw and I'm going to drop my tongue down. My tone's going to go down. It's going to come back up. There I'm going up and down with my tongue. So I got this wavering draw start that I've really been enjoying. And to expand upon it a little bit more, we're going to go outside of the draw. To continue our draw, to keep our draws going, we're flaring our lips out and releasing air and then drawing in. You can also do the same technique with any harp, but you're not going to get the draw, but you can get a very cool sound. Because as we draw in, we're changing the sound, and then we let our lips around, and the sound and the air escapes around it. So we're really, especially on a harp that's really loud and really sensitive, we have a really cool type of modulation that happens. I'm also moving my tongue. I'm moving my tongue up. I'm moving my tongue down. There we go. I got into it too much and my teeth came off. Like I'm ow, 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 but I'm flaring my mouth away from it. And just for the sake of keeping this video moving, we're going to go back into the draw starts. That's about all I have to say on it. I'm just now coming into grasp with this. I'm just now getting a hang of it. And I like to teach things as I'm learning because I'm more passionate when I'm learning something and expanding upon it. And it's like you're searching for treasure and then you figure something out. You're like, oh, wow, there's this you can do. So that's the point I like to share with people. And I encourage all of you to make videos sharing your own personal styles because you're going to have a different take on this and you're going to do it differently. And there's going to be different subtle nuances in everything you do. So make a video about your own journey and about your own coming to grasp with the draw starts. Well, that's going to be it for this video. Be sure to like, share, and subscribe for more harpery. Where else was I going with this? It's early in the morning, Saturday morning. I love y'all. Be good to each other. Harp out.